You are watching the Exceptional Conservative Network. For more information, go to www.tecntv.com.
All right, Tom Trento with the team in Arizona, and looking through the American wall. And this wall happens to be a metal fence, significant, and one that President Trump had panels, metal panels and angles, welded on recently so that it makes it more difficult to come over. So you can see going all the way down there, this is a pretty good system right here. I'm wondering if I was an illegal alien, how I could breach this system and come into the United States. Well, I'd probably walk over here and just climb right over this thing into Mexico. Because right here, as you can see, the big, beautiful wall completely ends. And anybody can, I mean, seriously, you can go underneath, you can go over, it's ended. So somebody rationally explain this to me, how we have all of this here, that's Mexico. I think they're smart enough, the illegal aliens from any country, to go, hey, we don't have to climb, we can walk right through here. We have a lot of work to do. Stay tuned, the United West, as we deal with the border crisis.
If we look to the answer as to why for so many years we achieved so much, prospered as no other people on earth, it was because here in this land we unleashed the energy and individual genius of man to a greater extent than has ever been done before.
Good day to you all. Welcome to Perm and Associates. I'm your host, Randy Perm. And as you can see there in that preview, I got a very, very special guest with me today, and I'm very honored actually to be able to speak with him on the border crisis that's going on in our country at the present moment. And I have none other than Tom Trento, who is he is the CEO of Defend the Border, and recently completed the Death County and the River of Broken Dreams docuseries. Excuse me. It's the first of 10 TV episodes about the life of Tom Homan, which will be aired on national TV. Trento is a highly skilled debater and dynamic public speaker with earned degrees in law enforcement, social science from Ocean County College, theology, bachelor's at Moody Bible Institute, and philosophy and master's at Denver Seminary. He is one of the co-authors of Sharia, The Threat to America. He appears on media outlets and talk shows as a subject matter expert, and was awarded the Carnegie Hero Medal Award for saving a man from a burning car. Defend the Border is a national grassroots project based upon Tom Homan's book by the same name, Defend the Border and Save Lives. Their nonprofit organization was established to raise awareness about border safety via online and in-person events and videos. Tom was the director of immigration and customs enforcement under President Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to some and introduce to others Mr. Tom Trento. Good day, sir. How you doing?
Good, Randy. Thank you very much. And you played that piece we shot, which was pretty interesting. And hearing Ronald Reagan's voice at the end,
Yes.
we long for the days of Reagan, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, I know. I know the conservative movement right now. I know they missed Reagan, and they're looking at Trump to be the next Reagan. This is a new age. The new age. I guess you could say Trump is Reagan 2.0, in a sense. Uh, Tom, I wanted to ask you: is the border secure? That seems to be a question that members of Congress like to ask Secretary Mayorkas every time he shows up there. So I'm gonna ask you the same question: is the border secure, sir?
Is the Pope Jewish? No to both of those. Okay, next question.
Yeah, yeah, it is crazy, that we're seeing a lot of things that's going on in this country right now in regards to illegal immigration, not even immigration, but just illegal immigration, and the migrant caravans that are creating a streamline. It seems like the just crossing over with no impunity. But I want to ask, what was the brainchild or the genesis rather behind Defend the Border, the organization itself? Why did y'all come together to establish this organization?
Okay. And your listeners and your viewers, uh, back to the first question: is the border secure? Uh, there was a time, Randy, not too long ago in our lives, 2017-18, when President Trump and Tom Homan, the former ICE director, absolutely secured the border to the degree that it's never been secured before. And it's critically important. Our work has the caveat: defend the border and save lives, the name of Tom's book.
Hmm.
Trump and Homan did that. And if Trump gets reelected in 24, Tom Homan, our good friend, who the movie and the series is about, he is going to return. And that border will be closed once again. But I want your viewers and listeners to imagine this: wherever you folks are right now in your home, wherever it may be, in Texas or Florida or California or wherever, you're in your home, and all of a sudden a construction crew pulls up, Joe Biden construction, and they initiate removing one of the not the door, but the front part of your house where there's a door. They remove the whole front part of your house, open the front up, completely exposed, and they start broadcasting. Whoever wants to go into this house, come on in now. And that's exactly what Joe Biden did on the 21st of January, 2021, when he took office. The first day, Randy, he repealed and threw out Trump's executive orders and all the initiatives Trump put together, fighting the deep state, fighting the lawyers, fighting the NGOs. Trump still was successful in securing the border. Joe Biden throws it out, rips the front of everyone's house off, and lets
Hmm.
people from all over the world in an uncontrolled manner. That's the situation.
Wow, wow, it's crazy, and it seemed like the bat signal went up around the world. The day Joe Biden took office, and everybody said, "Ah, U.S. is free to come in now, so let's go." And it just we have people coming in from literally all over the world, and there's like according to reports, there's people that's on terrorist watch lists, known criminals that are evading capture in their home countries of origins. They're coming to the United States, and no one is really raising the alarm about this. It's from the government level, anyways. And it just seems like and I had plenty of discussions with other people. I'm originally from Chicago, and the crisis that's going on in Chicago right now, and the black community up there is like they're literally replacing us. We're being displaced, and the migrants, the immigrants are coming in here, and they're taking over our apartments, they're taking over our homes, our schools, our jobs, and everything else, and no one's doing anything about this. and you can see this happening on a broader scale across the country, in the over in New York even. And New York has been the poster child right now of dealing with this migrant crisis, and but yet here we are, and nothing is being done. And in the I want to
Well,
it's
let me
been
give you,
yeah.
let me jump in and answer your question specifically. Our director, Mark, you met him earlier. He said when I gave the little illustration of the front of the house being ripped off, he whispered, he goes, and the owners are going, what's going on? And they're called racists. They say, what are you doing to my house? You're called a racist. That's how bizarre this is. But you're right. And we have time on your show. We can piece together some of these parts.
Hey Tom, your microphone is cutting is doing something a little weird. It has like a this echo going on.
Okay. We'll check. Is it an echo or just cutting in and out?
It's a choppy echo.
Uh, we'll check something.
It might fix itself.
Keep rolling or not?
Yeah, yeah. Keep going. Keep going.
Okay. I checking it. We don't have any storms around. Sometimes the weather affects the internet.
Yeah.
On 1, 2, 3. Tell me if it's still happening. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is it still happening?
Yeah, it is.
On track now.
4, 5, 6, 7,
There you
8,
go.
9, 10.
Perfect.
That's it? Perfect?
You're good.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
What happened?
Okay. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah, we're good now.
No worries. No
All right.
worries.
So I'll go back to,
Where do you want to cut in at?
yeah, where you want me to cut in at? Well, you going to be editing this, I guess, right?
No, I wasn't, but it's fine.
Well, no, yeah. Well, this is
This is
real
technology.
TV.
Yeah, this is life.
I know where to cut it.
Sorry, I want to interrupt you, but my director is editing.
Well, he's not going to edit it, so.
Okay.
Let me go to the part where you reference Chicago. I went to school, as you know, in Chicago, so and back then it was a wonderful, wonderful city. But here's how bad the replacement. No, he's not editing. No editing. This is real TV.
Yeah, we're good.
So to go back to that, the black community is being replaced by the illegal community. And here's what happens, Randy. The cartels own every illegal immigrant in America.
Yeah.
They have their vice grips on them in conjunction with the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party wants future voters. The cartel wants present money. Don't lose that. Cartel wants money. Democrats want voters. So you got this 16-year-old kid or 35-year-old, guy from one of 161 countries. He needs a job, so he gets a job under the table. You were working, somebody was working at Burger King or at Home Depot, making $15, $18 an hour, whatever. Now, there's an under-the-table arrangement, particularly in construction and services, and the people in those jobs, black people, pushed out, white people pushed out by illegal people, because we can pay them less. They don't pay taxes. It's a double whammy against the United States. And guess what? They're getting welfare benefits from the Democrat administration. And our taxpayers, our tax base is being reduced, and the benefits are being increased. How long can a country go like that before it starts rock turning, like what you're saying?
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. It is what we're calling is the great replacement theory that's going on right now in America, and a lot of people are calling it a conspiracy theory, but it's live and well in front of us. It is probably one of the greatest existential threats that is happening in our country right now to our republic, and a lot of people are just blowing it off, and they're just saying, well, we're America, we're a melting pot, we're a country of immigrants. And it's like, yeah, but there's some caveats to that, however. But just so you know, Tom, the mic is doing the choppy thing towards the end again there, so might need another adjustment there. But I wanted to ask you, during your time in this organization, over 4 million crossings or more over, and of that 266,000 children, mostly unaccompanied, and 1.1 billion dollars in would be fines assessed. Much more of all this, I'm sure. Can you speak to this, and what's been going on since then?
Yeah, absolutely. Uh, for your viewers and your listeners, you want to check the audio or how we got your viewers and listeners. Uh, for 17 years, I directed an organization called the United West. 2 years ago, our team, and we have a team of about 10 core people, various backgrounds, military, intelligence backgrounds, private sector. We got together, and for all these years, the United West has been identifying and fighting the actual terrorist threats coming into the U.S., whether from the Islamic side or the Marxist side.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw uh, 4 or 5 years ago the softness and vulnerability of the southern border, and we said we need to focus our attention there. And 2 years ago, we hooked up with Tom Homan, who was the former ICE director under President Trump, and we said, Tom, your story in your book is amazing. We are going to put that into TV shows, films, social media. We're going to start a movement to mobilize Americans to educate people to vote intelligently in November 2024 to elect pro border security politicians. So that was the genesis of our 2 year campaign. And in the first episode, Death County and the River of Broken Dreams, we take Tom Homan on the border doing an investigative report of the past 3 years of Joe Biden's open border policies. That's where those facts and figures have come from.
Yep.
Since January 2021, over 5 million illegal aliens have come, and that's the proper legal term, illegal aliens,
Mm-hmm.
into the United States. 90% of whom, 95% of whom, have no legal standing whatsoever for asylum. They're here for economic embetterment, which is fine. People want to make their lives better. Great, move to any country you want, but do it the legal way. We have over 300 points of entry. So Biden opened the door, smashed the front of the house down, let everybody in, and it's costing billions, as you said, hundreds of thousands. We don't even know where they are. When they come in now, they go through an app, a CBP, Customs Border Protection app, and the app says, okay, come in the legal way, so Biden can say, oh, they're coming in legally, but he's taking an illegal person and sending him in a legal way, which is still illegal,
Mm-hmm.
and their court date is anywhere from 5 to 10 years in the future. You think a cartel-controlled person is going to go to court 10 years from now?
No.
It's a Democrat voter registration scam, Randy, and about 100,000 children are unaccounted for. I can account for them. They're being sold in traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to this. The cartels were doing about $1 billion a year in drug trafficking. Take some coke or fentanyl, whatever, get it across the border, sell it. It's used up, product gone. Then they figured out we can take a cute little Asian girl or a Chinese girl or a little boy or a Guatemalan 15, 16, 14, and we can sell that product in the morning. We can sell that same product in the afternoon and that same product in the evening. And we get recurring revenue with human trafficking of children. $1 billion a month now. $1
Wow.
billion a month the cartels are making. Joe Biden is the biggest propagator of child trafficking in the world with his policies.
I totally agree, and a lot of people are looking at this, and even with the movie A Sound of Freedom, all of this that's going on right now runs akin to that movie. And like I said, I watched the first part. Ladies and gentlemen, you can go to defendtheborder.org, and you can click on the link there, and you can watch the first episode of the Death County and the River of Broken Dreams. You can watch that first episode there, and it literally that first episode. I kid you not, Tom. It pissed me off so bad. I actually got a little emotional watching it because it was just very. It was a very detailed, very revealing, very graphic. I would say that I was not expecting it to be graphic like that, but it was a very graphic, detailed documentary, and it literally like boiled my blood watching it. And like I said, it reminded me of Sound of Freedom all over again. And for people that's listening and watching at home, you have to go and see this. And they do a wonderful job documenting the points of where the footage was taking place. Like I said, Eagle Pass, Texas, a couple of hours from me. And I go to Eagle Pass almost, I would say about once or twice a month. I go down through that way, going to the casino there. So, but now that I'm a little bit more aware of the points of entries and kind of like the off skirt trails that exist. When I go back down there, I'm gonna check it out and take some pictures and do some videos and check and do a little public a broadcast about that. Because coming out of Eagle Pass, when you get back on 57, there is a border patrol checkpoint there, and I was thinking like when I first went through there, I was like, am I leaving the U.S.? I was kind of nervous there. I was like, what's going on here? And then it was like, no, you're fine. This is just a little checkpoint. I was like, oh, okay, and everything was good. So now I know better, but it had me nervous at first because I was like, oh, did I like cross over into
That's
Mexico
funny.
and then come back into the U.S. to go to Eagle Pass? Like, what's going on here? But
Yeah, that's funny.
but
So
yeah.
when we decided to put the first episode together, we went out and secured our good friend Chris Burgard, who's a phenomenal movie maker. He had
Hmm.
recently completed Capital Punishment, a movie on the government's involvement in January 6th, and he oversaw all of our production and editing and all of that. And we're a 501c3. We exist on donations. Um, People can go to the website defendtheborder.org, donate. We're looking for executive producers to fund each episode. It's about 150,000. We'll take them down on the border. If you have a good night at the casino, we'll make you an executive producer and take you on the border with us for 3 weeks to produce the next episode. But here's
Yeah.
what happened. You may be aware of Brooks County
Hmm.
in
Yes.
Texas. Brooks
Yep.
County, 70 miles north of the border, and we have termed Brooks County Death County in our show because right now you can go there and they have a sheriff and 4 deputies, and they will pick up dead bodies today. The illegals make that trek, and by the time they get 70 miles away, they're in bad physical shape. Die.
Yeah.
They die in that county morgue. And we're drawing attention to the fact that an open border policy is inhumane.
Hmm.
Brooks County illustrates that. And the Rio Grande River is not a river of dreams, it's a river of nightmares. That's what we're exposing.
Yes. Brooks County. I feel really bad for those guys down there. They're catching hell. It's like ooh wee. That's hell on the border right there for real. And you're right. For them to have to go out dead of night sometimes even or early crack of dawn before the sun comes up good, they're getting calls to go and recover bodies that's been just left there like it's a piece of meat for the animals, and it's very sad. And for these families to not even have closure or even knowledge that their loved ones has transcended this earth at the hands of an open border policy, which should the United States should be held accountable for that. For having such a policy to where it's causing the lives of people. But I just wonder, and I wanted to ask you also when areas like Eagle Pass and that I-57 stretch that was just talking about. There's a lot of ranches, and the same thing down in Brooks County. There's a lot of ranches and what have you. And these farmers, and these ranch owners, they just out there, just trying to make a living, right? And what is it like to go out your front door and you're thinking you're finna go milk some cows and collect some eggs, and you got a bunch of illegals sitting in your barn or sitting on your front porch even, and they're like, just like, hey, give me some food and some water. You're like, how do you even get on my property? It's like, I, what is that like? Have you encountered people that was experiencing these things?
Yeah, absolutely. What?
So we're lying dead in your front yard.
Yeah, lying dead in front yard. Yes, in fact, we introduced Dr. Mike Vickers in Death County in the River of Broken Dreams. But all along the border, 2,000 miles, Texas to California, you have literally hundreds of ranchers experiencing the same problem. And they had their high point during the Trump administration when the border was most secured. But even before that, um, President Obama did a pretty decent job compared to President Biden right now, even though Obama's involved with him.
Mm-hmm.
Obama's switched gears on this. And even Bill Clinton, he gave a State of the Union. It sounded like Ronald Reagan saying we have to secure the borders. So
Yeah.
this new wide open policy is from Joe Biden, January 2021, and the ranchers and farmers and homeowners are furious. And here's a prediction, Randy. If Joe Biden or any Democrat, open border Democrat, and not all Democrats are open border, they
Yes.
happen to have the leadership that way now. If they win on Tuesday, November 5, 2024, and continue with this policy, we talk to these guys. They are at the end of their rope, and they have militias already. They have
Mm.
nonviolent teams of citizens and property owners guarding the border. And when they catch people, they call it CBP, Customs and Border Protection, and they turn them over. But now the cartels are getting more aggressive, coming across with weapons. I guarantee bloodshed
Yeah.
on our Mexican border if Biden is the president in 2024 and opens the borders, particularly with some of the strong sheriffs we have. They're going to be a confrontation
Mm-hmm.
like we had with the federal government in the slave trade. The sheriffs are going to say, we're not listening to the federal government. We're taking control of our
Yeah.
land, and we're going to have showdowns there. And it's going to be a dark day for the national security of this country if Joe Biden's elected president in
Mm-hmm.
2024 or any Democrat.
You're absolutely right. That was one thing that's been like kind of like pecking in the back of my mind is the fact that there's you got the National Guard down there at the border. You have militias as you mentioned, and you have everyday citizens that's pissed off and angry and they're fed up. And there were some stories that was, I believe, was coming out of Arizona that a couple of guys actually sniped out a few coming across down there. And it's just like this can actually expand to a broader, larger scale where citizens are going to take the law into their own hands and they're going to say, okay, I'm going to make an example out of these innocent migrants that's coming across it because they at the end of the day they're innocent people, but nonetheless they are breaking the law, but they're coming across thinking that hey, I'm being invited here by the United States government and their administration, so everything is good. But then next thing you know, they have a bullet in their forehead, so I fear that that's gonna, like you just said, it's gonna mushroom into this kind of thing, and it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be a bad day. It's gonna be a very very bad stain on America, and I just don't even know what can come of this in the aftermath. But how can people get involved in your organization and help out legally and in a right fashion? How can if for those that say I want to get involved and do something, how can they join your organization and do that?
It's a very, very, very important point. And you have a military background,
Hmm.
retired from the military. Thank you for your
Thank
service.
you.
And you understand the importance of the rule of law.
Yes.
And we do also. That's why our efforts are educational toward a political end on Tuesday, November 5, winning at the ballot box to get the right people in there. So go to defendtheborder.org. Number one, our movie, Death County and the River of Broken Dreams, is right there for free. Watch the movie. It will move you like it moved Randy and moved us when we made it, when we watch it now. Anybody with a heart and a conscience has to be moved by what they see. So go to the website, watch the movie, then sign up to join us. We'll contact you, find out where you are and how you want to help. We'll get you engaged, trained, all of that. And then, obviously, to continue this whole campaign for the next year and a half, we need donors. We every penny is much needed and greatly appreciated, but we do need some serious, larger donors to continue the work. So, if someone's out there with the means and the resources to help fund our shows, contact me, Tom Trento, through the website. And the whole thing comes down to, Randy, we are creating a movement. We have a man with a very unique life, dedicated his life to protecting people. We're telling his story. So we have a man, we have a movie that starts to tell his story. We have a movement mobilizing Americans to train others to vote intelligently. And we simply need some money to do all of that. That's the whole story. And I'll give you one other dark, dark, dark scenario. And if Tom Holman were sitting next to me, hey, Tom, yes, Tom, people confuse us sometimes. Can the border be secured? Damn right it can. That's Tom. He's a little rough.
Yeah.
Well, how? You get me and Trump back in there, and in 60 days, we'll secure the border. Amen. That's how Tom talks, right?
Hmm.
It can be secured. My Tom Homan voice got me. It can be secured.
Yeah.
But the point is, right now, here's the dark message. Eric Adams, the idiot mayor of New York,
Hmm.
campaigning, we're a sanctuary city. Oh, here it is. Ah, Budweiser? No, no, not Budweiser.
but
LaCroix.
but but like.
No Bud Light for me. Italian wine or LaCroix? Um, Eric Adams is
Yeah.
an intelligent idiot. I mean, he's a very intelligent guy, but he's an idiot when it comes to the border issue. Sanctuary city, come to man. I grew up in New Jersey, right across the river.
Mm.
And now he's going, oh, there's too many people here. What are you doing? What are you doing? The
Yeah.
dark
Exactly.
day will occur when the migrants, the illegal immigrants, get organized in a criminal way, which they will because the cartels are here in the U.S., and they start overriding and overrunning the system, whether it's
Hmm.
through daylight robberies, whether it's through drug trafficking, whether it's through B&Es. The crime rate is going to go crazy in New York, which means I'm not going there. It's a beautiful city. I'm not going to go there. I live in the beautiful state of Florida. So it's only going to get
Yeah.
darker and more
You're right.
sinister in sanctuary cities.
Yeah, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be an upspring of Batmans and New York is going to be dubbed as Gotham, I just won't be surprised. I'll be just like, well, it was coming, So it's crazy to see that. And For everybody that's listening and watching, especially those that are listening today, because there will be a podcast version of this when later on, and you can pick up the book, "Defend the Border and Save Lives" by Tom Homan, and the docu series, like it's a 10-part docu series. The first one is already out, and you can go pick up the book and check it out, read through it. That way, you're already ahead of the game. And then when the series is all fully released, all 10 episodes, you can watch it and marry it up if you like, and go from there with it. Because like I said, the first episode it got me. I'm like I'm anticipating when's the next one coming out. So and like you said, you need donors, you need supporters and volunteers to come out and support, and $150,000 per episode roughly is the price tag for each episode to be made, and there's a lot of millionaires out there that's throwing their money into stupid things anyway. So this will be a noble, worthy cause that you can put on your resume out there, you philanthropist. So do that and help us out, because it is important to get the message out there and for everyone to be aware uh, as to what's going on, and not only in this country but in other countries, because other countries are experiencing similar situations and issues right now. And it's fascinating to me that this has been going on. Like I spent 3 years in Italy, so from 2017 to 2020, that was my last assignment in the military. I worked in Naples, Italy, at the NATO headquarters there, and I got a first-hand chance to see down at the Naples port migrant boats coming in, and the Polizei down there trying to, usher, get the boats from the docks and the ports and everything, and out comes, a flood of Africans coming from Africa, and the flooding the streets and everything goes, and they end up getting roped into, the females would get roped into the prostitution rings because that was legal there, and the men will be working, parking lots and farms and fields and what have you for change, and they'll sit out in the parking lot of a restaurant and say they'll watch your car if you pay them, but if you don't pay them, if you don't pay them, your car windows are busted out, your tires are flattened, and they're sitting there like, I told you to pay me and I'll watch it. It's like, okay, you about to die. You just messed up my car. But those are things that's going on. It's still going on present day over there in Italy, and we see what's going on right now with France and the pseudo civil war, if you will, between France and Niger. So it's the whole migrant crisis is a global thing, and we need to stand up and protect our country, because that flow of crises is flowing over into our country, and if we don't do anything about it, it's gonna be a great detriment to our nation. Tom, final
Yeah,
thoughts,
let
sir.
me let me let me make one point on
Yes, please.
the global element. Is 200 countries in America, changes daily, 190, 200. Out of all of them, the United States of America has the most compassionate, the most liberal minded, the most sensitive, the most outreaching legal immigration program out of any country in the world. We have over 300 points of legal entry into the United
Hmm.
States. We welcome people into the United States. My family came from Italy into the United States through Ellis Island, the legal way. We have to maintain the rule of law. We have the best legal system. We have to stop illegal immigration because it breaks the law, ruins the country, and kills people. That's our message. Randy, you do a great job. Glad to
Thank
be
you.
here with you.
Thank you, Tom. Thank so much for that. I appreciate you. God bless. Be safe. Thank you once again. I look forward to having you back, and I look forward to checking out the rest of the series as it's released. I will be keeping tabs on that, and God bless and good luck to you guys out there. Be safe.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen. Tom Trento with Defend the Border. I kid you not, folks. You gotta take the time to watch this series, this first part. It's very moving. To see people down at the border area. I had to catch myself there because I just had a revision of it all over again. Walking the trails, walking, along the along the borderline there, and picking up literally with their bare hands, picking up a skull, picking up the spinal column, and putting it into a bag, for identification at the local morgue there, and then you see a trail of ID cards, because people as they cross over, they get rid of their ID cards, so when they're apprehended, they're not immediately readily identified as a potential terrorist or criminal or whatever. Go watch the video. You'll see what I'm talking about. You'll understand what's going on. You can't speak on what's going on in the border. You can't speak on, the immigration crisis in this country if you're not educated on what is going on. It's nice to watch, TV talking points and everything else. That's great. But when you have firsthand knowledge and you see these things, or you're like, I live in an area where it's, predominantly Hispanic, and you can tell who's the illegals and who's not. You just know, because the way the actual legal Hispanics treat the illegals. You see it all, so then you couple that with what's going on, through such documentaries and reading the books, the reports, and everything else. You're able to get a total world view as to what's going on. And that's why I say education is very key to it. Folks, I'm going to shut up and jump out of here, because coming up in the next hour, we got Dave McQuell with Global Impact. Keep it locked right here on TECN.TV, and I will catch you all on Friday. God willing, God bless. Be safe. You are watching the Exceptional Conservative Network. For more information, go to www.tecntv.com.